Hello everybody and welcome to Friday Night Football on the Lazy Craig Show. Today I'm going to talk to you about transfers and preview the upcoming Premier League games. Okay, so first of all I'm going to talk about transfers. And being a Manchester United fan, I need to talk about all of the Manchester United transfers that happened first. Now, I didn't pay attention to the transfer window at all yesterday. I thought I'll leave it as a surprise. So I got my assistant to write down all of the transfers that Manchester United did so that I could read them to you and give my opinions at the same time. I'm really excited because I can't wait to see what transfers Man U made. Okay, so I've got the list right here. So I'm going to read the names to you now. What? Sorry, just one second. Yeah, this list is empty. There's nothing on here. Did you give me the right list? Have you got the right one there? What do you mean this is the right list? There's no one on here. How can this be the right list? We must have bought someone. This is a joke, right? Okay, so it's not a joke. It was the right list. Manchester United didn't buy anybody in the window yesterday. In the final day of the transfer window, we bought nobody. We're working with Ashley Young, left back, Antonio Valencia, right back. Two men in their 30s, one of which has to have ice on his knees every day just so he can walk. They're old in football terms. I think they're a bit younger than me, but in football terms, they're old. How can we be going into the new season with no new fullbacks and no right winger? We've got nobody in the squad who can cross worth a damn, and we don't buy anybody? It's an absolute joke. I'm not going to lie, it's a joke. I will tell you, I did pay attention to the window, and I was watching all day, refreshing, looking for news, and nothing came. It's absolutely ridiculous. And then they had that bell-end Mark Goldbridge on Sky Sports News. What a twat. The fact that we're the biggest and richest football club in the world and we bought nobody because those idiots in charge decided Jose's targets weren't good enough and that we had better at the club already. The Glazers are nothing but greedy bastards. They've put the club into lots of debt. Oh, what's this that's appeared on my neck? It's a green and gold scarf. Do you know what that signifies? Glazers out. They're nothing but greedy American bastards who've come to our club to drain it dry. They got us in debt. They leveraged the club against debt. And now they won't even spend money on players. Ed Woodward isn't even a football guy. He's a banker. Yes, that means all he's going to be doing is trying to save money. But do they forget what this club was built on? It was built on good football. It was built on buying people who can improve our team. If we are not at the very top of the sport, all this money from sponsors, all these people coming to see us, that's going to go away. We're so big because of what happened, because we spent the money on players. We were always breaking the records. We were always outspending everybody else. And this summer, we were outspent by Fulham. Fulham have just been promoted. They've spent over 100 million. They've outspent us. They're the first team ever who've been promoted to spend over 100 million. Yeah. And that's just to stay in the league. We couldn't even spend 100 million to fight for the Premiership. We finished second last season. Yeah, that's great. Finishing second is great. Second best team in the country right now. But we were 19 points off first. 19. Look at Liverpool. They went out. They broke the world record for a keeper in Alisson. They bought Fabinho. They bought Keita. They bought the guy Shaqiri. They bought Shaqiri. They're improving their squad in the places they needed because they needed a keeper. Mignolet and Karius are shit. My son could do better than those two in goal. Seriously, they got butterfingers. That's all they got. And that's what Liverpool did. They improved where they needed improvements most. So now, yeah, they're going to be a challenge. They'll probably finish ahead of us now. Look at City. Did they buy anyone? I don't think they bought anyone. They don't need, because they didn't need anyone. They didn't need to improve. They ran away with the league last season. And to be honest, Liverpool are bottlers. That's all they are. So the chances of them actually putting up a proper fight for Man City, slim to none. It's ridiculous. The only other team that didn't actually spend money, well, I mean, we spent money obviously because we bought Fred and Dalot and Lee Grant, but Lee Grant doesn't count. He's a third choice keeper. He's never going to play unless Romero's injured and De Gea's injured. Dalot is a kid still. He'll be eventually taken over from Valencia, but is that now or is it in a few months? He's barely played professional football. He's played a few games. He's not going to be taken over yet. What if he's not that good? What if he's rubbish? Apparently he's amazing at crossing. That's what we need. We need someone good at crossing. But the only one who's really going into our team straight away is Fred. And to be honest, is he only going into our team straight away because of the fact that Matic is now injured and Pogba is on a break? Because I'm not 100% sure if he would have slotted into our first team straight away otherwise. He may would have been, pushed into it slowly like Mkhitaryan. It's ridiculous. We should have addressed the key areas. And a lot of people say that defence is the strongest area that we have because we had the best defence record in the league, I think. But that's down to De Gea. De Gea is the best keeper in the world. Yeah, he had a bad World Cup, but he's the best keeper in the world. And the amount of shots he had to save because our defence were crap. That's why he makes so many world-class saves, so many worldies. What it would be a worldie for a normal keeper is a regular save for De Gea. But he only makes them because of the defence. If that defence wasn't so crap, you wouldn't have to make these saves. You wouldn't have to be our last line of defence. You wouldn't have to be our knight in shining armour. We got Smalling, who is crap. Okay? Jones, who is crap less of the time and always makes funny faces. And then we got Rojo, who had a good season until his injury. And the other two that we have bought, Bailly, injured half the time. Played 1,000 minutes last season. 1,000. It's ridiculous. And then Lindelof, who is still seen as a young, raw talent. Even though apparently he had a good World Cup. Like I said before, I didn't watch the World Cup. So, when they say our defence is the strongest, our strongest area, they're clearly very, very drunk. Because defence is not the strongest area. Oh yeah, I also forgot. Darmian, terrible. Although, hopefully we're selling him. Young, Valencia, two old guys who, to be honest, we will need to replace. At least at the end of the season. If we don't replace them at the end of the season, and we go into next season with those two as our fullbacks again, we're screwed. There's no way they can continue at the club. They're getting on. They're not as good. They're not Man U quality anymore. It's ridiculous. We should have gone with someone. I am very, very angry. And it's compounded by the fact that the story came out now, I think it was last night or today, I don't know really, that Jose's targets were vetoed by the board because they felt they were too expensive and that they didn't want to buy them. This is a group of people who don't know football. Because if there was anyone who knows football who was part of that veto committee, they would have told them, listen, we need these defenders. We need them now. A lot of people say Sir Alex Ferguson's on the board and they would have gone through him. No, I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe for a second if they said to Ferguson, do you think we should buy these defenders for 65, 70 million? He'd said no. Ferguson was all about breaking records. He spent 30 million on Rio Ferdinand. He broke the record for a defender back then. Ferguson loved to spend a lot of money on players when we needed them. He definitely would have said yes to these players. And, it's Woodward covering his ass. He doesn't know anything about football. The closest he's got to a ball is when he's out in the shower having a quick touch. You know, he's ridiculous. He shouldn't be the one choosing who comes. Jose's the one who chooses. He's the one who wants these players. If he wants the players, we should be going for the players. We should be spending the money. Instead, that money is lining the pockets of those greedy Americans. And it sounds like I'm saying Americans in a hateful way. I'm not. I can't say the word I really mean. It begins with C and ends with unts. If I said that, this video would probably get shut down. So yeah, that's all my angry rant about the Man U transfer window. Look at Chelsea now. Chelsea, going downhill. This is your future, Man City. This is your future. Because at some point, your billionaire owners will also get sick and tired of spending money. And yeah, they just spent 71 million on a keeper. Kepa. Who's Kepa? I've never heard of him. Have you? Before, I know Real Madrid was going to buy him back in January for 20 million, but they didn't. And now Chelsea spent 71 million on him. I didn't even hear of him back in January when that was happening. I definitely haven't heard of him. I don't know how good he is. So the transfer record for a keeper has been broken twice. And it wasn't on David De Gea. Thank God. De Gea for life. Thank you, Real Madrid, for buying Courtois. Although Courtois, what an absolute bellend. Seriously. Going AWOL from your club to force a move? That is the highest level of shithousery. I'm sorry, you may have kids in Madrid. Your family might be over there, but that's a choice you made. You chose to have your family over there. They didn't make that choice, you did. You chose to have your family over there, and then make that an excuse as to why you wouldn't play for your club. You were contracted to Chelsea. It's pathetic what he did. Honestly, I hate any player who does that. Mahrez did it back in January. He went AWOL for a couple of days. He eventually got the move he wanted, didn't he, to City? Because that's who City bought. City bought Mahrez. But Courtois doing what he did, going AWOL, not even talking to the club. Courtois either has very tiny balls or no balls at all. Because if he had any, he'd have gone to Sarri and said, listen, I want out. He wouldn't have said it sneakily and then gone hiding. Because that's what he was. He was hiding. No one could find him for days. But then Chelsea gave in. If I was the person in charge at Chelsea, I said, you know what, Courtois? No. You can rot in the reserves where you belong. I would have bought another keeper, yeah. Maybe Kepa, I don't know. If I was in charge of Chelsea, I probably wouldn't have known Kepa. But I would have brought someone in, and I would have put Courtois in the reserves until his contract ran out. And by then, I wouldn't have even let him train. I would have just made him suffer, doing nothing all day, every day. Waiting. Because he didn't deserve that. This player power that players have at clubs is pathetic. You shouldn't be able to go AWOL and then force a move. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. They shouldn't have given in to him. They should have made him suffer. But no, giving in, kissing the badge and everything. Even though before he was, when he played for Atletico, he said something derogatory about Real Madrid. Bless you. Part of the deal was they got to loan Kovacic for the season. And when I say loan, I don't mean loan with an option to buy. I mean loan. That's it. So after a year, he's going back to Real Madrid. Chelsea develop him. Real Madrid get him. Pathetic. Seriously, Chelsea. You are a cuck. That's all you are, Chelsea. Right now, you are a cuck. Okay? Obviously, I spoke about Liverpool. They did some business. Spurs became the only side since the transfer windows were conceived to not spend anything in the transfer window. I don't imagine Spurs fans should be happy about that. I think they might be, but they shouldn't be. Spurs didn't win anything last season. At least United finished second, but we still spent some money. Spurs won nothing. Seriously. And you didn't buy anyone? Come on. You need people. Daniel Levy is so tight-fisted that he'd crush anything that he holds. It's ridiculous that they didn't buy anyone. Like, I'm not a Spurs fan, to be honest. My father was a Spurs fan, but I ended up with United. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Spurs get along in the new season, because I hope they fail. And it will all be Levy's fault for pinching pennies. Because they did just buy a new stadium that they called, they gave it the so original name, the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And I say buy, I think I said buy, I mean build. They call it the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So original, really. Did your child come up with that? You know. Huh, hi son, what should we call the new stadium? Oh, what football team, Dad? Tottenham Hotspur. Call it the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Okay. Pathetic. Seriously. You couldn't come up with a good name? White Hart Lane. Classic name. Couldn't you just call it White Hart Lane 2? White Hart Lane. The sequel. Come on. Even that would have been better than the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Then you put the A as an arrow to indicate north from where they're from, North London. Pathetic. Seriously. If I was a Spurs fan, I'd be livid right now. But no, Spurs fans seem content with where they are and where they belong. Not winning a thing. Sorry, Tottenham. Other transfer news. A few teams spent big. Wolves have been buying a lot of players. Fulham, like I said, been buying a lot of players. Burnley got Joe Hart, who had a clean sheet in his first game, I think, in the Europa League. But Burnley look like they're going to be qualifying. That'd be quite cool. God, the transfer window's been crazy. Everton have brought in quite a few players. They brought in Gomez and Mina from Barcelona. The same two players that Barcelona offered us, plus 50 million for Pogba. And they've gone to Everton? Really? We're going to swap Pogba for 50 million and 2 Everton players? Yeah. Come on. Barcelona must think we're stupid. Really. Because they're Barcelona rejects at the end of the day. Should have offered us Dembele and 100 million. Maybe we would have taken that. That'd have been a fair offer, I think. But no, they give us the 2 players they want to offload to Everton. Really. Absolute ridiculous. I think I'm done with the transfer window now, because most of this was just ranting about Man United and the Glazers. So, I'm going to go on now to the Premier League. The Premier League is back! Yay! We can finally look forward to Premier League action. Yeah, as I said, Premier League is back. And finally, football for 4 games till the international break. Ugh. But with the Premier League coming back, we need an opening game. The opening game, Manchester United versus Leicester, on a Friday night, 8:45. Oh no, I say 8:45. It's 8 o'clock kickoff. I don't know. I've got it down on my calendar. I'll know it when it comes up, and I'll watch it when it comes up. It's okay. But still, I'm going to give all my predictions for the opening matches of the weekend. I've got them written down on paper. Obviously, for the first game, Manchester United versus Leicester. I do think Manchester United will win. At least I hope they do. It probably won't be a comfortable win. It'll probably be 1-0, 2-0, maybe 2-1. I think I predicted 2-1 in the prediction league on Red Cafe. The number 1 place for Manchester United. Problem is, I had a dream last night that we drew 2-2. And let me tell you quickly about my dreams. I actually have, and this sounds crazy as hell, prophetic dreams. I've had a lot of dreams in the past of events that would happen, that did happen. And every single time I've told someone. So it's not like I made it up afterwards. I've told people. Last season, I had a dream that Man U beat Liverpool 2-1. I had a dream that Lukaku scored 2 goals. Obviously, it was Rashford instead. But this wasn't the weird thing. In my dream, in the dream, we were 2-0 up by the 25th minute, I think. Whichever minute came after Rashford scored the second. I did tweet about it on the United Hour Twitter. Because I tweeted about it in the morning. So maybe I'll link that tweet below just so you can see that I'm not lying. Whatever, like basically Rashford scored in like, I said I had a dream we were 2-0 up by the 20 whatever minute. So say it was like 25th minute, Rashford scored in 24 or whatever. So 25th minute, we were 2-0 up. I had that dream. Obviously the dream was Lukaku scored, but you know, it was Rashford instead. So we won 100%. But I did also dream that Liverpool did score. Oh, sorry, I got to take the scarf off. It's too hot. But I did dream that Liverpool would score one back, and it would be 2-1. Now, I didn't put the 2-1 bit online. I did put the 2-0 bit up, though. The 2-1 bit, I did tell my wife. I had dreams when I was younger as well, about things that would happen. A couple of months back, I had a dream that I went to see my dad. Now, my dad has been dead for a few years, so anytime I dream about my dad, it's always a bit strange. I had a dream that I went to see him, and he was living in a flat above the local shop. And 2 weeks later, and then construction started. The shop had nothing above it before, but construction started, and they were actually building a flat above the shop. Now, I would have had no way to know they were going to do that, because I don't know the people who own the shop, and I actually don't speak the language they speak. So if they were ever talking about building a flat with me around, I wouldn't have known it. So yeah, I had a dream. Man U and Leicester drew 2-2. I don't know who scored. I don't know how it went down, because for some reason in the dream I didn't watch the match. I decided to watch it on a replay the next day for some stupid reason. And I saw the score posted in a forum. Hopefully that's not true. Hopefully my dream isn't true this time, because I want Man U to win. Next up, Newcastle Spurs. Oh, these games aren't in order. They're just in order that they are on my betting slip. Newcastle Spurs. I think Spurs will win. Even though they didn't actually add anyone to their team, I still think they've got a strong enough team to put away Newcastle. Next up, Fulham Crystal Palace. No, I did actually have Crystal Palace down as winning this. I'm not sure why. But with Fulham strengthening their squad so much, it's hard to see Fulham losing, to be honest now. I'm hoping Crystal Palace win, but I think Fulham will now. Huddersfield Chelsea, easy, Chelsea win. I mean, it's Huddersfield, come on. Watford Brighton I've got down as a draw. I don't think either team will be strong enough to beat the other. Bournemouth Cardiff, also a draw. Bournemouth doing great under Eddie Howe, but I just don't think either team will have enough to finish off the other one. Wolves and Everton. Both teams have strengthened considerably, but I think Wolves will win, because I think that they've strengthened with better players. And, you know, Everton, they spent a lot last season and they still sucked. Liverpool West Ham, I think Liverpool will win. It's one of those games you usually put Liverpool down to draw, but I just think that Liverpool have added too much quality to lose these crappy matches now, or draw these rubbish matches. Arsenal Man City, this one's easy, come on. Man City are going to win. Arsenal have added what? Liechtenstein, the country. I don't think they're going to be able to use an entire country to stop Man City scoring. I just don't think they've got it in them to win. So I think City will push them out, bulldoze them. Last but not least, Southampton Burnley. I think Burnley will win. Southampton have added Danny Ings from Liverpool for on loan with an option to buy, obligation to buy for 20 million at the end of the season. But I just don't think that. I just think Burnley are doing quite well these days. I think they will win. So those are my predictions for the opening weekend. Hopefully there'll be good games. If you're watching all of them, I'll just be watching the Man U one. I can't watch football games that I have no personal stake in. Although I do have a stake in these games these days, or right now, due to the fact that I put bets on all of them. So I do have a stake, but I still won't be able to watch them. I'll just check the results later on. So I think that's that for today. This video's run a lot longer than I thought it would. Mainly due to the fact that I ranted for so long about the Glazers and United not doing any business on the last day and fixing our key areas. Watch my previous two videos. Comment below if you're looking forward to the new Premier League season. Who do you think will win and lose on the opening weekend fixtures? What do you think about Man United not buying anyone? Except for the other three, obviously. But, they didn't strengthen key areas, like I said. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a good day.